And we're live. I'm so excited to bring you this interview. I haven't done one for ages. I've been just off the scene and I apologise, but this is one that I've wanted to do for such a long time. Steve, thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Is it because of my beard? Was that what it was? Just wanted to see it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it is
That's what
pretty
it was.
special, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. Actually, it looks a bit rough at the moment because I just come from the gym and had all the guys and that sweating all over me. So I've
Straight
rushed
from the
back in
gym.
straight from the
So,
gym.
by way of introduction, you're Steve Cooke, you're the head coach at Team Underground.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about. I want to talk about all the fighters in your gym. I want to talk about the exciting things you've got coming up. But
Oh yes.
like I said, this is one that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I know you don't want to talk about yourself, so we'll skim over it. But to
Okay.
set the scene for how you ended up where you are, I want to know how you got into martial arts in the first place.
Um, I always loved it. Like even from little, like all the UFC and you know watching it when I was younger. And I always wanted to give it a go. Um, and I did for a little while, and I was just start flickering in between gyms. I was
Yeah.
going from like gym to gym in London, and then I found a little local gym, and I trained there for a little bit, and it was good. I got myself to reasonably half decent sort of grappling level. Done a couple of competitions and stuff, and at the same time, I was pushing the kids to come into it,
Yeah.
Chloe and David. I was just, people say, don't push the kids. I did. I'm sorry, I did. I pushed them. I was like, come on. Mostly I pushed that to push Chloe more because she just wanted a cat, so I had to bribe her. So,
So when
so
I spoke
bribe.
to Chloe, she said that how she ended up into it was because her brother David was rubbish at football, so you wanted to get him into something else. Is that true
Yeah, I mean,
story?
yeah, he was. Do you know what? He was all right at football when he had the hair. He looked the part. He had the blue eyes, blonde hair, he had all the bands in his hair and stuff. But bless him, he wasn't very good. He looked the part, but he wasn't very good. But boy, he could fight. We used to play fight a lot when he was little, and I could tell straight away. I was like, he's tough. He's tough. He can have it. So
From
he
what
got into
age?
it. I mean, he was doing um, like Japanese jiu-jitsu and things like that when he was 7. So and then he got into like MMA when he was 9,
Yeah.
and Chloe was about 11, 10, 11. So it was around that sort of age. So we're talking 10 years ago. They started getting it. They got into it just after I was doing it.
Yeah.
Um, and then after that, after a little while at the local gym, we went to Team Underground, and I met John and Jonathan and all the guys down there, and we just clicked straight away. And then after a little while, I think one of the jiu-jitsu coaches left, and John was like, "Look, you're the most experienced one at the moment. Do you want to just start teaching?" And then it just went from there. I just started teaching a couple of classes, and I was still working full time at the time. And then I started teaching a couple of jiu-jitsu classes. Then we went into MMA classes, and then I left my job and took this up full time, and this is where we are now. All of a sudden I'm here.
Yeah.
I've got a stable of like I don't know. I think it's 44 fighters. 44, I think we last counted 44 amateur and pro fighters coming through.
That's
Um,
incredible.
I know it's mad in a little gym in Old Kent Road, and obviously we got the super high level pros, and we got the amateurs coming through, and we've also got a lot of hobbyists because we're very family orientated down there. A lot of gyms say they're family orientated. Come down here, you know about family. I'll take you to the pub. No, not really, but I mean, but like the team socializes a lot. Like whether it be going for days out, going on holiday. We just went on holiday. We just went on holiday with 14 members of the team. Normally we train, but we go to the same place in the Canary Islands and we train
Yeah.
and I have a bit of a holiday. But this time, I think where lockdown was happened and the guys had fought so much since the lifting of the lockdown that we just went on holiday and just had a good time.
Yeah.
Jet skis and soaked up the sun and relaxed and had cocktails. It was lovely.
I don't know if anyone else can hear audio issues. I'm hearing you crackle slightly, so I'm just gonna
Oh yeah.
Speak to me again. Yeah.
Hello.
I wonder if we can try without the headphones. Can we try that for a second? See if that works. And maybe somebody watching. I can see some people are watching. If they could let me know if you can hear it as well. It sounds like that might have resolved it. Speak to me now.
Hello, darling.
Oh no, it's still there.
Is it still there?
Um, yeah, a bit of a crackle. If anyone watching can let me know if they can hear a crackle. But we'll carry on. We'll carry on and see if we can get past it. But that holiday looked wicked, and you guys do you do seem like a family. You said about going to the pub, but I have seen pictures of you all down the pub before, and you like a party and that, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, once we never in fight camp. I mean, if the guys are in fight camp, then obviously they don't. But I'm not in fight camp no more, so I can go to the pub if I want to on a Friday. But if the guys are, then no. Um, but you've always, because there's so many fighters, there's always some people that are in camp and some people that ain't.
Yeah,
So we have like quite a good social thing. We go out for food, Sunday lunch. Always go out for Sunday lunch.
yeah.
Love it. Good pub grub.
I quite like when you go out with the belts after a big night of
Yeah, that's
victories
something
and
we always do. Yeah, because normally Thomas Paul fights around the same time as what the guys fight when they're on Cage Warriors. So, if they do well, which funny enough happened twice. Um, Last year, late last year, Thomas won, and then Chloe David and Chanel won, which was
yeah,
great. And then again this year, Thomas won again, and then David and Chanel won. So it was, same
yeah,
sort of night. Chloe
pretty
didn't fight that time.
special.
But yeah, so we ended up going to the pub. It was a good time.
Somebody's telling me that the sound is still bad, so I'm wondering, do you think you could leave and come back on the same link? Because I want to make sure that we catch all of this.
Okay, let me try.
Sorry. I just want to make sure that we definitely get to hear all of it and people don't give up because of the sound quality, because we've got some really exciting stories for him to tell us about. Yeah, his kids are both champs, multiple organisations. How we gonna do? I
Is
think it
that any
sounds.
better?
Yeah, it is. It is better. Oh, that was a turn it off and turn it back on and see if it works.
How did that work? I don't know.
I don't know. But you spoke about Thomas Paul there. He's got some exciting news. Everywhere I looked, it just said it was rumoured, but you can confirm it's true, right? Because you're going to Vegas next week.
Yeah, I'm off to Vegas next week for a I think it's medicals and uniforms and stuff like that for Thomas Paul for the Dana White's Contender Series. So
So
um,
when is he actually fighting?
I think it's August the 16th.
Amazing. That's incredible, isn't it? You must be so excited for him.
Yeah, I'm really excited. He works so hard. He's such a lovely guy. He works so hard. He's got a disability. Of Well, I mean, he counts it as not a disability because he ain't got to listen to everyone moaning. He just cracks on.
So for anyone who doesn't know, he was born deaf, wasn't
Yeah, he
he?
was
And
born
a lot
deaf,
of his
like
family are deaf.
all his family are deaf. I think his brother's kids are the first in the like 4 generations to be able to hear or something,
Wow.
um, which is good. I just went out with Thomas last week. We went to in Holborn. They've got a pub and they have like a deaf night every couple of weeks.
Wow.
So it's all like the deaf community meet up, and he always wants to bring me with him. So me and a couple of the guys, we went down there to have a chat, and it was good. It was a good a good little night. Having a good chat with everyone. He's like a celebrity, so he
Yeah.
walks in, and they all love him. And it's really cool. And then obviously off to Vegas next week, which is gonna be mad. We're going for 3 days.
That's going to be absolutely amazing. But tell me what it's like to coach a deaf fighter. Like, what are the obviously, like, when I'm in the gym, my coach is just shouting to me from wherever he is. He's not necessarily always in front of me. Like, do you have to coach more one to one, or like how do you get the message across?
So Thomas Paul's really, really good at lip reading. He's really good at lip reading, and he watches everything. So if I'm like teaching a technique or like a submission or something like that, he watches every detail, and he's watching your mouth and stuff like that. He
Yeah,
always gets it spot on. And if there is an issue, he always asks me. He says, "I don't understand," so I'll come close. But it's a lot easier than what people think.
yeah,
He's a smart cookie, you know, and I'm even doing pad work for him and stuff. It's pretty simple. He's always concentrating. He's always looking in your face. So
yeah.
to coach him was the difficult part at first, like when he was fighting, because I didn't really. I mean, what am I supposed to shout?
Are
You
you?
know,
I bet you can't stop yourself though, can you?
no,
Like,
we
even
still
though he can't hear, like, oh, it's
you
just
still go
natural,
mad.
isn't
You're
it?
still shouting and stuff like that. And but we have like little things. I mean, I'm not going to give away some secrets and that for future
Of
opponents and that. But we
course,
have
yeah.
little, you know, signs and stuff like that. I'm also learning sign language myself. So and a lot of the team have started to learn sign language as well. And
It's
we have our own.
difficult mid-fight though, isn't it? When he's got to be concentrating
Yeah,
on the actual action.
he
He's not going to look
sometimes
away then.
yeah he looks over a little bit, but I tend to not want him to do that
Yeah.
too much, because if he looks over, he could make a mistake. And you know, but he does sometimes. He does sometimes. If he's in a comfortable position, he'll look over and see. But there's only so much you can sign to sell something. Strangle him, you know. You know.
I guess as he goes on in his career, it could become an advantage, you know, like the bigger the arena, the louder the crowd. Like if you're fighting in your opponent's backyard, like all of
Yeah,
those things can be quite intimidating and overwhelming. Like I wonder if that will help at some stage.
yeah. I mean, when he fought Mario Said, Mario said to him, like, "I have 400. I've sold 400 tickets. They're going to be screaming for Kurdistan when I come out." And Thomas said, "Well, that's great. I'll just close my eyes. You know, you know, it doesn't matter how they can scream the loudest they want. It doesn't matter. He can't hear it. You know, so you know, he doesn't get rattled by that. You know, when he's coming out, you know, the crowd could boo him to death, literally, and it wouldn't make no difference to him. He's concentrating, and he's got a goal in front of him, and that's what he's going to deal with. You know."
And it seems like he feels mega motivated by almost being like a hero for the deaf community. Like he wants to be like a role model, I guess, and show that he can be successful in whatever he decides he wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, he should I say preaches that quite a lot. Like, you know, that you know he's always trying to encourage deaf people, even when we went to the pub, to come down and train. And you know, it
Yeah.
doesn't say that it's a massive disability, that they can still do it. You know, and it's started to happen. And he's also doing a lot of PTs with other deaf people now. So it's really good to see. You know, it's really good to see that people are coming and getting used to it and getting involved. Um,
Yeah.
Really good, really good, really good. He's a great guy. I love him to death. He's like,
I always say the gym's for everyone. Like, you know, you
yeah,
don't have to, as you said earlier, hobbyists to, I mean, Contender Series in UFC, it doesn't matter. And, you know, whatever your capabilities or abilities or whatever, you should always be welcome on the mats.
yeah, of course. I mean, you know, you look around the room the other day, and you'll have like a young girl, you know, a mum, and she's in there, and she's training, she's hitting pads. Next to her is Thomas Paul hitting pads. Next to that is Jonathan Haggerty hitting pads. You know what I mean? And you think to yourself, it doesn't matter. You know, you're all working together. You know,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
every champion was once a beginner. So
That's true. Some of us stay beginners.
yeah. Yeah. Now,
And
what are you talking about? You're a blue belt, aren't you?
yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
about.
You should get the
One of
role.
those blue belts that disappeared after they got their
Is
blue
that what
belt
you
as
did?
well. If Alan's watching, I am coming back, Alan.
I
I
hate
promise.
that blue first.
I'm coming back, Steve. I'm coming back.
Mate, I've graded so many blue belts, and they do a run out. They literally get their blue belt, go thank you very much, and never come back.
It was just unfortunate timing.
They all say that as well. Oh God, you know. I've sort of just spot it now in class. I can see the guys that really, oh, when's the grading? I'm like, I'm never grading you, ever. You're going to run away. Do you know what I mean? I should tell them, like, as soon as you get your blue belt, you need to give me 2 years membership. You know, enough membership to cover you till purple.
Oh my God, that would be a lot of years for me, I think. So talk to me about the rest of the team. We spoke about Chloe and we spoke about David. So tell me what's next for them, because I mean, how does it feel for you being dad of 2 champs in multiple promotions? Like it must be incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I've sort of got used to it now. When I was young, when it was a little bit, you know, so go back about 4 or 5 years ago, it was a little bit different. Like, you know, I used to really worry, but now they got older and they're, you know, they're professional to an extent, and you know, it's great. I mean, that picture I recreated of the kids when they done their
I
first
love it.
to when they both won the Cage Warriors Academy titles on the same night. That was crazy, you know. And they both promised me that they're going to do it with either Bellator or UFC belts. So we'll see. You know, I mean, that would be even better picture. You know,
Oh, that would be amazing.
yeah. I mean, we've got a very good squad coming through. Very good squad. Really, some really good girls coming through. Obviously, Chanel Dyer. You know, we all know Chanel. Chanel, I believe, is quite possibly if she is the best amateur female fighter in the country at the moment, bar none.
Yeah.
I would put her in the top 3 of the female fighters in the country, behind like even Molly Meatball and Dakota Jichev. She's really good, and then Chanel. You know, so when she turns out, I've seen she's a monster. She's a legit
I love
monster.
that she accepts any fight as
And
well. That fight with her and Shauna Bannon was like, love
yeah,
Shauna as well. Like, what a fight.
yeah, I mean, great fight, but she only accepted that because no one else would fight her, and so she had to move up a weight and fight her.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, she was good. Don't get me wrong, she was good, but with the right camp, listen, Chanel's going all the way to the top. There's no ifs and
Yeah.
no. You know, I honestly will put her in with most of the pro girls, all of them in the country at the moment. She's an absolute savage. She's good
Yeah.
everywhere. Well, everyone's starting to, you know, before everyone was trying to take her down. Good luck. Good luck. Because some of these girls are going to get her down and they're going to be surprised because she's going to sub them to death because her jiu-jitsu is getting slick. It's actually nearly as good as her striking. She's getting that good. I've seen her subbing high-level guys and stuff like that, and, you know, she's an absolute monster. You know, when she will, when they're sparring in the gym and I go change partner, some guys walk away. They go, you know what I mean? You know, they don't want none of that smoke. You know, she's
I've
she's
seen
such a
her.
sweetheart as well. You know,
She is a sweetheart, but her pictures from jiu-jitsu tournaments, like you can tell her progression just from her posts. But her first one just really cracked me up when I don't know whether she got disqualified or she got points deducted because she didn't even know the rules. She just
yeah,
turned up and she was like,
yeah. She
"Oh,
was
I would have been
all in.
allowed to do this in MMA." Like,
You know what? The last one she done showed the real evolved version of her. The one she done at Crystal Palace. I can't remember what one it was, but the last one, about a month ago, and she just smashed everybody. And I'm talking real good girls as well. Like she subbed.
yeah,
She won the absolute division as well. She fought a girl that was about 78 kilo in the final and subbed her. She's a superstar. Do you know what I mean? She's an
what did
absolute.
she fight at? 53 kilos.
Yeah, so she when she fought that Shannon, she fought at 57, which she does in Thai boxing. So she probably walks around about 56 kilo. You know
Yeah,
when she, you know, so she'll fight at 52. Because she's never had to cut weight. I've never had to cut her weight or anything like that. She just naturally gets down to it. She just diets
yeah,
down. All of a sudden, she's 52 kilo. Do you know what I mean? And so, which is frightening because if there was an atom weight division, she could probably do it.
yeah.
She'd probably hate me for saying that, but you know, if it was pro, ooh, you never know because she's tall but she's not massive. You know, she's
No.
muscly. You know, she's just she's more of a savage in the pub, to be honest.
And McDonald's.
Oh, and McDonald's. You know, when I was in Fuerteventura, yeah, she basically made the whole team, 14 of us, walk round the island to find the McDonald's. It was about 45 minutes away. We found, and to be honest, it was pretty good. But she sat by herself with her headphones in. It was like she was in a peaceful moment. She sat by herself in the corner, headphones in, enjoying her burger. Like it was.
So it's a team effort to find it, but then it was like a lone mission once she was
Yeah,
there.
got there. It was like a tranquil moment. You know, sitting by herself in the sun, eating her McDonald's, and then she came over after all like happy and with herself, and off we went. You know, back to the pub.
So tell me everyone's next fight. When's Chloe's next fight? Because we didn't see her at the last Cage Warriors, and I'm really excited. I think Chloe's one of the best
Yeah,
talents out there. Her last fight, oh my god, how great was her last fight against Aiko? Like that
man,
was just
man,
insane.
is a beast. Do you know what?
Yeah.
She's 45 years old or whatever it is. Yeah, and what a woman! Like she's like my hero. That she know, and she's such a sweetheart as well. But wow, I mean, she came out straight away and hit Chloe with a big overhand right. We wasn't planned. We didn't game plan for that. Do you know what I mean? Hit her with a big overhand right. We thought she was going to shoot for a takedown. You know, because you know Brad's guys and that are awesome wrestlers and stuff. So we
Yeah.
was anticipating that. And she just come out, boom, overhand right, click Chloe. I was like, oh shit. You know, oh god, and but I mean, what a fight! I mean, Akko took a full-on head kick, shin to head, like boom,
I know, and she
and
kept
walked.
coming like the Terminator.
Yeah, walked through it. She got out of like the first extended armbar, you know, and 30 punches to the face. And then in the second round, Chloe hit her with another beautiful armbar, hyperextended arm, and she got out of that as well. I was like, what is this? You know, was it her night? I was like, maybe this is her night, you know?
Yeah.
But then Chloe showed resolve as usual and hit her with a beautiful double leg. And I think Aiko, where she only took the fight on a couple of weeks' notice or a week's notice.
It was her second fight as well.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that, you know, maybe the gas tank went, and when Chloe got the full mount, obviously finished the fight from there. But I mean, hats off to both girls. I mean, they got a bonus for that, and it was what a fight, you know.
That definitely got my vote for fight of the night. I thought
Yeah,
it was absolutely insane. I had to interview them both because, like, you know, obviously Chloe won the fight, but it didn't feel like there was a loser to that
No
fight,
way.
really, because it was so good.
It was such a good fight. I mean, hats off to Akko. She's a savage. But then again, in this country at the moment, there's so many good girls coming through.
And that's why the level keeps rising, because
Yeah.
for so long it was so difficult to get a fight or so difficult to get a well-matched fight.
Yeah.
And now I feel like there's more and more of them around. Still
Yeah,
not as many as I would like, but
I mean, I've seen a few of them, like I mentioned before, like that Dakota. Have you seen her, Dakota?
oh hell yeah, yeah.
What a beast, man! She's
Yeah.
a savage. I mean, she's been training for years as well, but she's a beast. There's a lot of amateurs coming up. There's that girl that Chanel fought, Min Grub. She's really good. Her record doesn't say how she is, but she's a tough little one. Another one of my favourites is Susie Wilson. I love her. She's brilliant.
Oh, I just went and watched her at Shock and Awe.
Yeah.
She was and what a sweetheart. You know, she's like
lovely.
super religious. She's a musician. She's a singer.
That's what I say. Her Instagram's brilliant because it's not all look at me. It's all like music and
teaching
she's
kids to play instruments and stuff, like
pulling silly faces and things like that. So she's got. I mean, her versus Chanel or Chloe in the future or something like that. That'd be a great fight.
Oh, it would be a great fight.
Great fight for people to watch as well. I mean, Chanel actually grappled her in a competition a couple of months ago.
And that's really her thing. So how did that go? That's Susie's.
Chanel won.
Wow.
Yeah, Chanel. I think it was really close. I think Chanel won on like I mean, don't kill me, Chanel, if I'm wrong, but I think it was like an advantage point or maybe one or 2 points for a guard pass. But it was a close grapple. She's no joke. That Susie. She's a beast. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's real high level. She's really good. And her striking's not bad as well. So yeah, she's another one. There's loads of these young girls, but we've got loads in the gym coming through. Obviously, Riri Hudson's very good as well. You know, she was supposed to fight Chloe.
I still want to see that fight.
Yeah, I think it will happen at some point.
Yeah.
Now Chloe's fighting a Swedish girl, and it's going to be. Really wanted. She was going to fight on Cage Warriors, and then she would have been matched with Riri, but she really wanted to do a home show.
Yeah.
I think most of the guys have all fought on a home show, so she really wanted to do it. So we managed
Tell
to
us
get.
when that is.
That's on the 9th of July in Camden. So she's going to be main eventing it. We brought over a girl from Sweden, Eleanor Sundqvist or something. She's pretty good. She's been a batch, trained at Tiger Muay Thai. She's small like Chloe, southpaw, tricky. Never really fought at her natural weight, so it's going to be interesting to see her at like 50 kilo fighting against Chloe. She offers a lot of problems for Chloe. Like she's super fit, you can tell. So it's going to be an interesting fight, especially on our home show with that pressure main event. A very interesting fight. Once Chloe gets this one out of that way, we're going to discuss what's next. Potentially, maybe going on Cage Warriors to fight Riri or whoever Riri's fighting. I mean, I want to see who they're going to give her for the belt, because I did hear that the girl that Chanel fought last on Cage Warriors, I heard said she was going to move down to the lower weight, so that would be an interesting fight as well.
Definitely, yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of young girls. We got a lot of young girls coming through in the gym as well. By the end of the year, we should be pushing a few out. My missus Kim, she's really, really good as well. She's really good at jiu-jitsu. She's going to get she's just been not very well for a little bit, but she's once we push her out as well, she's another one. She's going to cause a lot of problems. We've got who else? Christina is another young girl that we got in the gym. She's a sweetheart. They're all going to come through. Nadine, Maggie. One of our girls, Maggie, just got a little bit of a bad injury. So a shout out to you, Maggie.
Oh, yes. Wishing you a speedy recovery.
Yeah, she got a bit of a bad injury. She went over on her ankle. It was really bad. She had to go to the hospital and that. But she's a fighter. She's a tough girl. Slick striking. Once she comes back from her injury and I unleash her as well, that division's got to take notice, because we've got them all coming through. All the girls in there. We've got another girl called Stephanie. She's a bit bigger than them. She's a bruiser. She causes some damage. We got loads. I mean, I'm gonna forget someone's name and they're gonna kill me tomorrow. But we got so many young female fighters coming through that in the jiu-jitsu and in MMA that it's gonna be good. It'd be good to like compete, like, you know, because Brad's got loads of girls at GB Top Team. I mean,
I know it's so good to have like this level of competition, and like both at such friendly and like positive gyms with like good, you know, there's no animosity between anyone, and it's just such a good vibe at those fight shows.
Yeah, I mean, when I first went to, I mean, go back 10 years ago, when I first went to MMA shows, everyone hated each other. And then I was used to going to Thai shows and things like that, and Muay Thai shows and K1. And everyone sort of liked each other. And I didn't get what was going on in the MMA, that sort of mentality.
People trying to prove they were hard, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I don't like it. But now, most of the time I go to MMA shows, I have a good old chinwag with people.
Yeah.
You know, and there's some great shows around at the moment. Some really good shows. I think what Jack Mason does with Cage Warriors Southeast is incredible.
I know, I do love that show so much. And then you were talking about your home show, but you didn't tell people where they can get tickets or how they can go.
Well, if you want it, well, there's a lot of our fighters fighting on, so they'll probably be commenting saying, "Here, just message me," you know.
You've got Yassine here saying, "I best get a shout out." That's all I'm saying.
I was about to mention Yassine. He's probably yes. What you should be saying is, hit me up for tickets, mate. You get that commission. Yassine is one of our guys coming through. He's a beast. He's like a karate European champion. He's finally going to move down to middleweight, and he's going to cause some havoc because he's vicious, man. He's vicious.
When you say finally, did he not want to go on a diet? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, finally. Yeah, I told him for a little bit. Yeah, he fighting at light heavyweight. I told him, look, you need to go down to middleweight. He's finally moved down to middleweight, and I really believe that he's going to excel at that weight. I think he's going to be strong. He's going to be powerful, and he's going to cause some absolute carnage. And I can't wait to see it. I really can't wait. And he's 19. That's what I'm saying.
19.
He's 19. Like, I've got so many of these young fighters that are coming through, and they're so young, from the ages of like 17 to like 23. I cannot wait. You know, there's too many. Like as I said, there's 45 of them. Yeah.
Who's
And
yet another car project?
yeah, I don't know who yet another car project is, but yes, bruv, shouting you out. You must be one of my fighters, bad boy.
He knows that Yas is an animal.
Yeah.
Chanel wants you to do a shoey.
Shan, listen, I'm not doing a shoey, babe. I'm not doing a shoey. I can't. I'll do a shoey, Shan, when I promise to do it. This is what I'll do. When Chanel wins the her UFC debut, we're gonna do a shoey backstage. And we'll probably try and get Ty Tabassa to do it with us. You know what I mean? Hopefully.
Defo, that sounds like a good plan. Kim says you'll be glad that you mentioned her.
Yeah, well, I had to mention her just in case I'll get dinner. You know what I mean?
This was a good one from Andrew. Don't forget the elite OAP unit.
Oh yeah,
How
sorry.
old's
We have some
Andrew?
old guys as well. We have got some old guys. Andrew's, well, I think he's 75 years old and he's still fighting. So I'm joking, Edge. Andrew's got his third amateur MMA fight on our show as well, so it's gonna be interesting. I haven't seen him in the gym this week though, so he needs to pull his finger out. But he'll be ready. I know he'll be ready. He'll be ready.
He's hiding behind the keyboard. Who's living's 92? I'm your best fighter. Wanna know, baby?
That's Charlie. Less said about him, the better. Not joking.
And
But anyway,
Daniel reckons he's the best female at the gym.
Daniel, I think you have the biggest boobs at the gym. Bless you. Not joking. Daniel is another one of my secret weapons. And once he really shows his true potential, I think he's gonna knock a lot of people out. He has got the freakish power. It's unbelievable.
Oh, that's epic. I'll be looking out for all of you. If you see me at a fight show, grab me, have an interview, and get your name out there. Christina says the whole Team Underground squad's here fishing for compliments.
I know, I've noticed. Listen, I'm just gonna run it through my head of everyone that's in the team. You know what I mean? There's so many. But yes, Christina is another one of my young ones coming through. Youngish. Sorry, darling. You're gonna kill me. But
she won't mind being called young, I'm sure.
Yeah, she's one of my beer partners on the weekend. But she's
well done, Christina.
Yeah, she's a cool girl. You'll see her. She's probably, I would probably say Christina is our number one fan. She always buys tickets to everyone's shows. So when she does fight, she's probably going to sell about 150 tickets.
Oh, I love that. There's nothing like the support of knowing that you've got the support, is there? That's brilliant. I do like that. And I always say to you, I love the way your team are at shows, the way they get as excited for each other's victories as they do for their own. And they're always like, even when if their fight's just over, they're back in the stands with like cuts and, you know, still haven't found their flip-flops and they're cheering on the next one.
Well, that's what I said. I mean, like, you know, everyone pushes on about like, oh, gyms are families and stuff like that. But, you know, we are legit. That's what it is. I mean, you know, when you win together. When you lose, you know, you lose together. It hurts. It hurts everyone, or everyone is happy. I mean, all you have to do is go back and watch Chanel's live coverage of Thomas Paul's fight against Mario. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
On my Instagram, guys, if you want to catch a video, go and watch that Mario versus Thomas Paul. And when Thomas Paul wins, like, you would have thought Chanel had like died, like she's like, it's absolutely going crazy. But that's the way, you know, she's a champion. Like, you know, she's a champion, and that's the way she feels about one of her teammates winning. And it's not like just that; everyone feels like that.
She coaches from the stand as well. I've heard her.
Do you know what? I love having her with me in the corner. Do you know what? She's super loud, and she's on it, and she's a hype girl. She's such a good hype girl. She's like, yes. You know, she proper bigs you up, you know. So it's just amazing. But there's so many more. Like, I always talk about Chanel. We know who Chanel is. Chanel's the one. But we've got so many other like young fighters coming through that are really really good, like young talented ones, and I can't wait to get them out on the show. We got another young lad called Noah. He joined us from MMA Clinic. I think because he's moved a little bit closer. Noah landed, fought on Cage Warriors a couple of times. You must have seen him before.
Oh, I know him.
Yeah. He's a beast.
He's fought on Fight Star as well.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's another one of ours. I mean, just watching around the room, watching him and Dave and Thomas Paul spar and stuff like that, it's fantastic. You get someone like that. There's so many others. We had that young Sonny Crossman's just joined us as well. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, where do I know him from?
He's fought on like golden. He's a golden ticket featherweight. Flyweight champion. He is legit as well. He's really good. He's going to be a real problem for all the flyweights in the country. I'm really going to be interested to see, especially with Cage Warriors coming up with Vladimus and Oofs fighting again in the second fight. We're keeping a close eye on that. It's going to be awesome. Do you know, with the they should always be fighting. They're trying to fight the best they can fight. You know, trying to fight the best they can, and it's going to be interesting to see some of these fights matched up. Dave's finally going to move down now and stop eating. David, my son. Yeah, so he's finally going to move down. He's not 40, he's natural weight yet. He's fighting at 70 kilo. He walks around about 71 kilo, 72. Well, he's fat, a little bit heavier, but
he's fought at catch weight though, hasn't he? Has he fought between two weights?
So his first couple of fights were really small, 57, 61. Then COVID happened, and then he's fought at 70. He fought one guy at 77 kilo, and he was 71.
Wow. Okay.
Knocked him out. And then, but the guy was very good, bless him. Yeah, he stepped in on like a day's notice. And then these last two fights in Cage Warriors was at 70, but he's that size. So
he's tall though, isn't he? How tall is he?
He's about 5'11", 6 foot, maybe.
Yeah.
So he should be fighting potentially on Fight Star next in Crystal Palace on July the 2nd.
And you won him at 66 for that?
He's fighting 66, yeah.
Wow.
He's fighting a guy, Humza Raja, I think it looks like, from New Wave Academy. And New Wave always produce really good fighters. I think 5-1, David's 5-0. So really another interesting fight. And what the amateurs should really be doing, you know, fighting each other and then potentially training together, because again, it's us against the world, you know.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about David's last fight, because I thought he showed like real grit and determination, and like he had to really dig deep and grind it out.
That was a close fight.
Yeah,
that was a close fight. I mean,
were you confident in the decision though?
I was confident in the decision.
It was close, but I felt like it was like I knew that he'd won it.
Yeah, I thought that he 100% won the first round. The second round, he was winning up until the Cameron got the full mount, and that was a dodgy bit. But that was only for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And the whole of the second round, David was basically piecing him up, I thought. But
it depends whether you thought that what happened at the end was like caused more damage and was more impactful and dominant than what had happened in the
judge. And I thought the third round, he got the takedown, but David reversed it and was on top of him for 2 minutes. So, who won the fight? He was on top of him for 2 minutes. I mean, that's it. And that goes back to what you say in the second round, where people can argue and say, well, you know, David was winning the whole round and then got taken down for 30 seconds. He won the round. Okay, well, he took David down for 10 seconds and David sat on top of him for 2.5 minutes. So, you know, I thought he done enough to win it, and also he's a champ, so to beat the champ, you got to probably beat the champ, and he didn't. But you know,
I feel like those are the fights that you learn a lot about yourself, though, because it looked uncomfortable. They both looked like knackered by the end, and like it's who wants it more and who like is prepared to.
I think both of them thought it was going to be an easier fight.
Maybe,
I thought David thought he was going to walk through him, like, you know, punch him, kick him to death, and I thought Cameron thought it was an easy fight. I thought he's probably seen David's older fights when he was 60 kilo and falling all over the shop, and then thought it was going to be an easy fight as well. So I think just it happened, but David won, and you know, after that, straight away after, he was like, "Yeah, I need to go down 66 kilo. These guys are just too strong," you know.
Yeah.
So it'd be
You mentioned his early fights and how light he was. Like, I remember you posting saying that you got grief because he was so young and his opponent was a lot older than him, and obviously won and in really dominant style. But like, talk to me about what that was like.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was 16 and the guy was like 26 or something like that. But, you know, he was training MMA a lot. He was big with all the fighters. And, you know, the guy was small as well, just as small as him. But David hits so hard. Like, even back then when he was that small, he hits so hard. You know, you can ask any of the heavyweights, you know, in the gym, even like Yassine, who's just been piping out. Ask him, like, you know, for a smaller guy, like, he's strong and he's got good hands and things. So, I wasn't worried at all, and I'd seen the guy fight before, and I wasn't overly impressed. But obviously, some people, not mentioning names, weren't happy about it, you know. And I can understand that. Although we're going to argue with them about it, but if you've not seen him train, if you've never been there, if you've never seen him fight, you've never seen what he's capable of doing, why are you commenting? You know, what
I
you get.
think especially with his dad as his coach, like, you're not going to send him in there.
Yeah, well, this is it. I'm never going to put him in a scenario where I think he's, you know, out of his depth. You know. And he wasn't out of his depth, and he proved it. He's smashed that guy to pieces, bless him. You know.
What is it like to watch your kids fight? Is it an uncomfortable feeling, or are you just the coach for 15 minutes, or?
Oh, it's awful. I mean, John told me off in the fight before the last one, against CJ, for David. John told me off because I wasn't saying anything. That's one of the only times in one of David's fights that I've been like.
Did you feel nervous? Was that what it was?
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought that you know, he was just wild and he was causing David problems striking, and then he got David down, and I just didn't really know what. I just for some reason, the first and only time, touch wood, yeah, that I just was shell shocked. I didn't know what to say, you know, because he was on top of my son, he was beating him up. David didn't seem like he had didn't seem like he could do anything. Like, you know, the guy was a little bit. Even when they were striking, he was just wild. He was kneeing David in the face. It was just, you know, just mad. Do you know what I mean? And then,
do you think? Could you imagine throwing in the towel, like if it was going really not to plan, or would you just do that for any of your fighters anyway?
I would do it if it's, you know, I've seen a lot of like corner teams and stuff, and if you come to the corner and you can tell that the fighter doesn't want it, I mean, you'll give them the encouragement, come on, let's go. But if they really don't want to be there, then I will throw the towel in. You know, I know my job is to my job is to keep them safe at the end of the day, make sure they can go home to their family and things like that. So, you know, if they're sitting on a stool and they're just not in it, it happened with one of the fights we've had. I'm not going to go into what fight it was, but the guy wasn't really there in the corner, and I let him go out for the third round, and the fight just didn't go too well. And in the end, he ended up getting stopped. It wasn't like a nasty stoppage, but he just wasn't really there. And so you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
You know? So I have a thing. I want to look in their eyes. I want to really know if they're in the fight. In the last fight against Cameron, David was knackered in the second round. I had to give him a slap, you know, wake him up. Crack, have that. But he was more tired. He was never not in the fight.
Yeah, yeah, he did. He looked tired, but he still looked up for it. And like I said, he still found that way to pull it out the bag from somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, he did it, you know, and I was proud of him. And he showed that he's not just a striker. He can wrestle. He's got jiu-jitsu. He's got everything. So, you know, and he's getting better and better every day. I mean, once he finally puts what he can do in the gym into the cage, I'm telling you, it's going to be a problem for everyone. He's going to be a problem for everyone.
Oh,
He's a serious issue. I mean, you ask any of the guys, Thomas Paul, all of them ones.
Yassine said you're more nervous than Dave when he fights.
You know what? He's right. I am. When it comes to it, I get nervous in the build up. So I can't big myself up too much. It's funny because I don't get particularly that nervous for Chloe. I think
Why is that?
because she's such a sniper. Like, she's got that stone face. She just, and everyone she fights, she smokes them. Do you know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah.
but with Dave seems to have these tough, grinding out fights, and I'm just like, I just don't know what it is. And he always goes to me, "Calm down, I'm all right." I'm like, no.
Chloe is so softly spoken and sweet and kind of shy that you would never know. When you were talking earlier about people on Instagram who've got a whole nother side to them, and like that's what I love seeing in fighters, and
Yeah.
that's how I can think you can change the public's perception of like what MMA is, because it's all these different people who are like, they're not these, they might be an animal in the cage, but they're totally different people outside of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Like I said, in the gym, we've got so many people from so many different walks of life, and they're just, everyone's brilliant. I mean, we have a real, and I'm not just saying it because I'm on camera. Like, we have a real family vibe. If any of my guys lose, I'm devastated. Like, I'm honestly devastated.
I've seen the team. I remember the night where you got a clean sweep and every single fighter won at Cage Warriors Academy, and everybody was on cloud nine. And then there's been other times where it's
The,
been
the
mixed,
last show, the
and
last
people were
show,
like really upset in the stands, even though they've won. They're absolutely devastated.
the last one was the hardest because I think we took, I think it was 10 fighters, and we lost 7 and won 3.
Yeah,
No, we took 11, we lost 8 and won 4. I think it was hot, but we lost like 6 in a row or 5 in a row. It was, oh god, the morale. But I mean, the team, the supporters. If you go back and watch the fights, they're still screaming.
I
The team
know.
was still
Yeah,
there. They're still screaming and shouting, and they're still big. Even the guys that lost, went backstage and they were still shouting for the guys to fight.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So, it was, you know, I can't. Yes, Lewis is right. We ride together. That's what it's like. But yeah, like I can't thank the team enough for how supportive they are of each other. I really
yeah.
can't. And I don't even. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's just everyone in this area. But they're just, everyone's just so loving to each other in that side. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's tough. It's a tough game to be in. It's a tough game to be in. So I mean,
Yeah.
some of these guys, I've got 3 guys fighting this weekend. I'm off to Newcastle tomorrow, and I was with them earlier today, and they're cutting weight. And we're talking about a couple of guys who got their pro debuts. So shout out to Tomic and Mihaly. They're fighting this weekend. It's their first fights under me, and they're both. Tomic's making his pro debut, and Mihaly's his like 4th pro fight. And
On what
these
show?
guys. Sorry.
What show?
Rise and Conquer, Andrew Fisher's show in
Oh, yeah.
Sunderland. Yeah, and these guys, they're working like real long hours construction work. They're coming into the gym, they're grinding for 4 hours. They're going home to their families, they're waking up early, they're going for runs. It's hard work, and they got no sponsorships or anything like that. They got no one helping them out. They ain't got their best mate. These guys are foreign guys. Mihaly's from Bulgaria, Tomic's from Poland. They got nothing. They're working really hard jobs, and they're trying to push. And the team are behind them, and I can't wait to see them. Honestly, they've trained their bollocks off, and they're gonna put on a show on the weekend. Not to forget Vernon as well. One of the guys, Vernon Richardson. He's got his 3rd amateur fight, so I'm excited to see him. He's fighting the more experienced guys. So yeah, these guys, they work super long. Like Vernon, for instance, he was in the gym cutting weight and running and training, and now he's gone to work to do a 12-hour night shift. Do you know what I mean? I'm just
Big
like,
shout out to them. Best of
yeah. I mean,
skill, all of them.
shout out to everyone that around the country that does that. To chase a dream, to really put themselves through that. It's incredible. I've got some. I mean, Chanel, going back to Chanel. Chanel lives miles away from where we are. She travels miles to Knowles's academy. She travels miles to us, and she does that every day. Sometimes twice a day, 3 times a day. Um, it's ridiculous. And that's that mentality. You cannot coach that. You cannot teach that. You
Yeah.
just got to do it. And big ups to her again. Like, that's her strongest tool out of everything. Forget her striking, her jiu-jitsu. It's that. It's her art, because she won't have
Yeah.
it. She's always doing something. She's always on the move. She's always looking to get better. So hats off to her. But all my team are like that. They're
Yeah.
all like that. They're all trying to get better. They all recognise, where they've gone wrong. After Cage Warriors last, every single one of them fighters that lost, has done something to rectify it. And it's amazing. Whether it be cutting down, moving down to a weight division because they know they got. If they're going to do this game, they've got to be serious. To working on jiu-jitsu or working on their striking more, booking PTs, spending what little money they probably got to get personal training with good strikers like Jonathan and things like that.
Yeah.
They're making, and you can't really you know be in awe. I can't help but be in awe of these
I
people.
know. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
It's
you know what?
incredible.
It's incredible, and it's not just my team. There's loads of teams around the country. I see lots of teams that are really good, and people are doing the same thing. And it's just amazing to chase a dream. And there's no money in this sport. There's still not a lot of money, especially at this
No.
level. There's no money in this sport. So
There's
and
not that much level. There's not that much money even at the top level, unless you're
no,
that very top 1%, unless you are the champ in the UFC. There's not that much money.
and sponsorships are shit as well. You get all these companies going, "Oh, can you wear my gloves? Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah. How about giving them a bit of money and
Yeah.
sending them a glove? That extra £100 a month. Do you know how much that helps for some of these people? They can wear your gloves, it's not a problem, but give them £100. You're right off his tax anyway. Do you know what I mean? But that will help someone. One of my young fighters, if he gets £100 from a couple of people, get £300. That's his training paid for.
Petrol
It's his
money to
travel.
camp. Yeah.
Yeah, it's his travel paid for. He doesn't have to do that little part-time job. Yeah, it can really help him. So if there's any companies out there that are ever going to help anyone, I'm not talking about just my team. I'm talking about amateur fighters in general. Just that could help out. It's that's one thing with this sport that's really difficult. You see a lot of guys getting sponsorships from them dad's best mate's plumbing company, which is great, but not everyone's got a dad's best mate's plumbing company.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I feel sorry for a lot of these fighters out there, because it's hard graft and they don't get anything out of it. You get your face punched in every day and then go to work, to chase a dream. It's great with none of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's me ranting at you. Sorry.
No, it's hard, and I always think if I ever came into money, I'd love to just anonymously sponsor a load of local fighters and just give them enough money to like really have a crack at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard. It's so hard for some of these guys. I feel terrible for them. I really do. Some of them, some of them haven't got a pot to piss in. You know what I mean? And they're grinding and working their bollocks off, and it's hard for them. It's really really hard for them. I'll always try and help them out the best I can, but if they can't even get to the gym, what do? You got to give them money and help them out. It's so hard.
Yeah, it is really hard. So
Mm.
remind me the order of it. So Chloe's fight is on what date?
So what we got so far, we got David will potentially fight on the 2nd of July on Fight Star, and then a week later, Chloe
That's
will
yeah.
main event with lots of my fighters that are fighting, like Noah, Yassine. There's loads of them fighting on our show. We've got a young kid, Reese, Zach, all these young guys that are all getting their debuts and second fights in on our show. And then after that, you have Cage Warriors, where we've got
That's on the
loads of
16th, I
yeah,
think.
16th. We got Aiden, Jake, Chanel. They're fighting, and then after that, I think it's then Thomas Paul for the Contender Series in August, potentially. I've got another couple of guys fighting on ECMMA, not this weekend, the weekend after. To sell Ringer, we call him, and Kenny, who's David's bestie. Kenny's David's
Right.
best. It's my what was they saying today? It's like my they're both Asian guys, so it's like I've just put the Asian guys on ECMMA. They just put them up, and they've been training their bollocks off. And I'm really excited to see them fight. Ringer's a really cool cat. He's really skillful. I'm intrigued to see him have his debut fight. And Kenny's David's bestie, so he's been training hard with Dave, and he's got that same style. He's mean. He's short. He's got that Mark Hunt style. If he hits you, you're gonna know about it.
Wow.
So if you get a chance, come down to ECMMA and watch that, because it's gonna be
What
fire.
date's that one?
That's on the 29th of May.
Okay.
Oh, and a shout out to Big Dan as well. He's fighting on Golden Ticket on the 5th of June.
Wow, golden
yeah.
tickets go.
Yeah,
Wow. So we're
golden
back to back shows now, aren't we? Like
Yeah.
every weekend. You're getting some miles in.
I'm dead for the next like couple of months. You know what I mean? But yeah.
So
Big
when
Dan
are you
as well.
fighting again? You're 3-0.
Ever. I'm not 3-0. I'm 2-0. I can count that last fight as that was like an exhibition fight. That was like for Jay. Remember Jay Shepherd? You know.
Yeah.
I sort of fell on the guy and he gave up. So, but no, it hurts too much. I ain't getting kicked about by these guys. It hurts too much. You know what it is? I'll be brutally honest with you. I'm a much better coach than I am a fighter.
You've said that to me before.
Yeah, I'm a much better coach than I am a fighter. I was all right, but nah. You know what I mean? My competing days. What I'd like to do is start to do like Europeans and the jiu-jitsu competitions and that. That's what I'd like to do, because that's easy. When you're fighting in the Masters 2 division, everyone's friends. You know, I ain't fighting no 19-year-old kicking me in the head or will kick. Nah.
Well, it probably doesn't help with how you feel the next day if you fight like a few days after you've had your appendix removed.
That's probably it. But yeah,
I told you I wanted to get this story in, and you said everyone knows it, but I don't think everyone does know it. So will you tell it one last time for the people?
You know what? Everyone's gonna log out now because they've heard the story too much. You know what I mean?
It's my fault. I'm asking for it.
So I went to the Canary Islands where we just was again, and it was like the last week of my fight, last 2 weeks. So I went there to I know a gym over there I was training. There's a Brazilian guy over there called Ezekiel, really good. And I was training with him for the last week, and oh god, and yeah, on like the second day I was there, I was training. I felt a little bit ill. And then by like the Tuesday night, I was ruined. Like I couldn't breathe. Like I was in pain, and I thought I was dying. Like, well, I was.
What did you think was wrong?
Do you know what? I thought I had like gastro problems, because I had something like that before. I just thought I had like a stomach issue, but it was like death. So, but I was in so much pain. So we ended up having to call an ambulance, and they took me to Spanish hospital, which was. That was a lovely hospital, but at the time I was like shitting my pants. I was in this hospital, everyone was talking Spanish. I didn't know what was wrong with me. They didn't give me any drugs, so I'm sitting there in pain. And my missus wasn't with me. They wouldn't let her in the ambulance, and it was awful. And in the end, someone came down that spoke English and said to me, like, "Yeah, we think you've got appendicitis." So they sent me up for an MRI. Luckily, my missus had just done my insurance. Sorted that out. So props to you, darling. Because that would have cost me an arm and a leg, literally. And then they done like the MRI and stuff like that, and I had appendicitis, but it was like leaking into my body and stuff, so it was like causing me a lot of issues. So, yeah, they give me the keyhole surgery, and then I was in the Spanish hospital to the Saturdays, which I was supposed to be flying home. I was ruined. I had like a bag on me, and it was like getting rid of the poison and stuff. It was awful. And then come out of the hospital on the Saturday, relaxed for a couple of days, flew home on the Tuesday, and then went straight to the gym and started training, but I could just about move. Now, the reason why, it's not because I'm hard. Didn't train because I was hard. It's nothing to do with being tough. I had spent all my commission money. That's what it was. I spent all my commission money, like an idiot. So, and I had sold 140 tickets. So,
oh my god,
Yeah, so and I'm talking like cage side tickets, you know, like you get £50 commission from some of these tickets. So my more panic for fighting was that if I don't fight, how am I supposed to say if you bought a ticket off me, Katie, and I said to you, well, you paid 150, I've only got 100 to give you back. Do you know what I mean? So that was my main thing. But you know,
Oh,
people
no,
said,
that makes me when we go back to talking about like sponsorship and people like, you know, that really upsets me that like you had to get in there.
yeah, well, that was it. I mean, I had to get in there because of that, and so I had to go. I went to just silly things. I mean, looking back on it now, it was absolutely stupid to do. So don't ever do it. I had to go to I went to the hospital on night. Yeah. Well, I had to cut weight for one, so that was agony.
Oh my God.
Yeah, to cut weight. So I cut a couple of kilos in the salt bath and stuff like that, and that was painful. Um, in every area, that was painful. And then I had to go to, obviously the weigh-in was on the Friday, so but the problem is I had staples in my stomach.
You didn't want them
So
to see.
no, I went to the hospital. My friend knew someone in the hospital, and they pulled the staples out like 2 weeks early, which is very painful. And then I went back and nicked some of Chloe's makeup and put like foundation all over my stomach. Yeah, I know, stupid, absolutely stupid. Though, and
God.
obviously weighed in, made weight, and then took the fight. I mean, I beat the guy up anyway. Do you know what I mean? The fight didn't last very long. And my missus likes to
Did you
explain.
know that you had to finish it quick? Did you know that
Yeah,
you wouldn't be able to
yeah.
like
Well, my missus says that I hit the guy like, "Don't touch my staples." Do you know what I mean? Don't touch my stomach.
I
You
can't
know what I mean?
imagine how painful that would have been if
Do you know
you
what?
took
It's
a
sort of
shot to
on
that.
fight day. I think the adrenaline kicked in, so you know, I just immediately just threw hands as quickly as possible, took him down, ground and pound, got him in a Americano and finished it really quickly. Afterwards, I was in a bit of pain, but not too much pain because I still went out and got pissed up. But I
Well,
was
that
in.
probably
The
helped.
medics nearly battered me backstage though.
So you told them afterwards, did
No, I
you?
didn't tell them. Dave O'Donnell told them on the microphone.
So Dave knew before you went in there?
Sort of. Yeah, I said to him like I've got problems with my stomach and stuff, and I'm still going to fight. And he was like, "Arr." So it was a little bit touch and go. Do you know what I mean? But I was going to fight regardless. You know, it just was. It was what it was. You know,
Wow.
man, I know. But I am an idiot for doing it, and I would never uh, like recommend anyone do anything stupid like that. Well, that's
No,
why Chloe had to pull out of the last fight is because she got appendicitis as well.
no way.
Yeah, Chloe. So Chloe had the operation just before Christmas, I think it was, which
Oh
was
my
great for
God.
me because then she couldn't train for a little bit, and I was like, "You're so weak. You're so rubbish. Oh, look
I'd
at me."
actually had a fight in the time that it's taken you to get
Yeah,
back to the
literally, that's what I
gym.
said. To her, like, come on, you know, I mean, how much do you want it? You know, so she hated me for anyway. You know, she hates me for it. She was like, "Oh, obviously yours was rubbish." I was like, "Look, I had leakage. Yours was all right."
Oh my God, you guys must be susceptible to appendicitis.
I
It
don't
must be
know. It's mad.
hereditary.
It's crazy. Yeah, maybe I don't know. Mad. So there was always something crazy going on down the gym,
Well,
especially with John.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So big
So
boss.
we've run over an hour now. I just wanted to finish by asking you, like, where you want to see the team in like a few years' time, who you see ending up in the UFC, who we don't even know about yet, who's going to be, you know, and what your dreams are for all of them
So
and for
basically, what
you.
you're trying to tell me now is you want me to say people's names from the gym that I'm going to forget someone, and then they're all going
No. Well, you know, you don't even have to say names. You can just say, you know, how many in the UFC you think you'll have in 5
Well,
years'
I mean,
time.
my next goal now is for everyone that turns over to go pro. If they're ready to go pro, I'm going to put them directly into the big cage warriors. So if they, you know, I've got a lot of people that want to turn over and go pro,
Have you
right?
got anyone fighting on Caterers Colchester?
No, but I've
Okay.
got Ricky Moore potentially fighting on Cage Warriors in O2. So that'll be
The
interesting.
London one in July.
Yeah, he just fought in the Manchester one. He lost, bless him, but he'll be ready for the next one. He took that on like 5 days' notice.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my goal. Is that's the direct link to go to straight to the UFC. So potentially that's what I'd like to do. Obviously, there's Golden Ticket as well, which I think is an amazing show. Dan Castle runs a fantastic show. Probably one of the best shows I've ever been to. Have you never
Yeah.
been to that one, Katie?
I haven't been, and I really want to go.
Mate, need to come to Golden Ticket. It is fantastic. How he looks after his amateurs, going back to the sponsorships and stuff like that. What he does for the amateurs, putting them up in hotels and
Yeah.
just looking after them. He's a great promoter. Great promoter. The
Yeah.
whole team there at Golden Ticket is fantastic. So yeah, I can't give him enough props for that. Most of my guys will want to fight on that. So that's the idea: is Golden Ticket or the Big Cage Warriors. Because if you really think you're ready to go pro, that's where we're going to go. We're
Yeah.
going to go straight to the hardest fights you can get. Because amateurs is all about learning, and then it's all about getting the hardest fights the right path. If you're gonna, I don't want
Absolutely.
to have 15 fights. Let's go. If we can go straight into Cage Warriors, let's see if we can push forward and get, potentially the Dana White's Contender Series or the UFC or Bellator or ONE FC or one of them. But Cage Warriors
Yeah.
is probably a good start.
Have you had anyone fight on Shock and Awe?
You know what? I was talking to the promoter from that.
It's
I
such
said,
a good. I just went to that one recently, and I was blown away. That was an amazing show as well. And again, just
yeah,
really look after the fighters, and amazing production.
yeah, I've heard it. I was gonna get someone, but it seems to always fall right where Cage Warriors and Golden Ticket is.
Right.
And I feel like if I do that one as well, it would just conflict me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it, and I really like the promoter as well. At the last Cage Warriors was having Nando's, and he was sitting next to us, and that's when we got talking. So eventually, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. So that's my next step as well, is to try that. That's why we're going all the way to Newcastle for this show for Rise and Conquer.
Yeah.
Looked after us. They paid us for the train to come up, and I like Andrew Fisher as well. He had a great fight on the Bellator last week.
Yeah. How good was that? That he's
Oh,
still winning and still smashing it.
he's a beast.
Wicked.
And a really nice guy.
Yep.
So I'm a bit interested to see how his show is, and see what goes on up north. Plus, I've never been to Newcastle.
No way.
No, I've never been to Newcastle. I've heard
Oh,
it's.
you're gonna love going out up there.
I know. I'm taking Thomas Paul with me, and he's not in camp yet. It's gonna be crazy. And then I've got to come back and fly Vegas with him. I'm gonna get lost and married to Elvis or something.
I love the way they're going to make him go through his uniform fitting now, and then he's going to go through camp and probably lose a load of weight and turn up a totally different
Yeah,
size.
probably. But I think he's. I think it's more about like the medical, like the brain scans and stuff like that.
Okay, right. So you don't do that here and send the
Nah.
results. They've got all their own doctors doing it and that.
Yeah, that's what we got to go over there and do. So it's crazy.
Is that at the PI?
I had no idea. All I know is they're putting us up in a really nice hotel.
You've got to go to the PI though while you're over there, haven't you? Like
Yeah,
that'd be an
cool.
experience in itself.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna try and do everything. I'm gonna see if there's any good gyms. Well, I know there's some good gyms about. Maybe pop in there and stuff like that. So
Extreme Couture and
yeah,
Syndicate and 10th Planet is there, and
I know it's crazy. I'm getting excited for it, but I know what's gonna do. I'm gonna end up in the casino or something like that.
you can do both. I've done all of those gyms and the
Have ya?
casinos when I've been, yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do then. But yeah, we've got a
Yin and
lot of
yang.
fighters coming through that. I believe in the next 2 years we're going to have a massive team of pros and high level amateurs, and it's just getting better and better. And like I always say to a lot of the fighters, is sticking together is where it is. Whether you win or lose, sticking together is where you're going to get better. You've got everything you need at this gym, and you've got people that love you and support you. So sticking together is where it is.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to need to do. Like, there's always someone in the gym that can help you. So you don't have to just, turn tail or something like that. You can just, bite down your gum shield and let's go again. Plus, an amateur, it doesn't really matter.
No.
Just get the experience. I've got so many fighters in there that are just game for it,
Yeah.
win, lose. They don't worry about tapology and all that rubbish. It's all about getting the experience and getting better. Each fight is getting better. Once they turn pro, they're going to be handfuls,
Yeah.
really, really dangerous guys. So and ladies, this is what I can't wait. I cannot wait to push the team out. All these new shows coming out. It's going to be really, really busy. We've got some obviously about, but we can't talk about some interesting things happening next year. And what's been happening this year, some even bigger things happening next year. So look out for us. I mean, the gym is just going to rocket through.
I'm so happy for you. It's so lovely to see good things happening to good people, and
Very
you
much.
deserve every bit of success you all do. And I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing to see how you all get on all the shows and Contender Series. Like that is just mega. Like the whole thing's just.
I think it's kicked people like to see Thomas.
It makes
Really,
it real, doesn't it? It's not
yeah,
happening to someone you don't know. That's happening to someone who trains on the same mats as you.
change with you every day. So why do you need to run off and do anything else? Why do you need to do this? It's always. I think the most important thing with being a young fighter is listen. That's the most important thing. If you think you know what's best for yourself, you don't.
Yeah.
That's what you're paying me for, what you're paying our other coaches for, is to help you. If you think you know what's best for yourself, you probably don't. And Thomas Paul is a prime example of someone. He's deaf and he listens better than everyone. How mad is that?
Yeah,
Chanel is
that is
another prime example.
profound. I like that. That's very deep.
I'm telling you, he does. He's definitely
Yeah.
listens more than anyone. Thomas Paul will always ask me, "What do I need to do? What shall I do? What's next? What do I need to work on? What class should I do today? Who's going to the Contender Series?"
Yeah,
There you
absolutely.
go. Chanel is another one. Always said to me, "What should I do? Should I do a bit of jiu-jitsu? I'm going to work jiu-jitsu. Let's do a bit of this. I'm not going to do." She's
I
always,
love that she hated it and she worked on it because it was the weakest area of her
yeah.
game. And now you're here, like a couple of years later, saying, I think it might even be as good as her striking. And that is because nobody wants to train the thing they're worst at.
Oh, and
Nobody
Chanel is a
wants
prime
to
example.
feel like the nail, like when they can be
Exactly,
the hammer
exactly
in
that.
what they're good at. But she went out of her way to find the area she felt the weakest to make
Oh,
sure that it wouldn't be her weakest going forward.
exactly that. And she's like another one, a prime example of someone that you know listens really, really well. Just listens. She's much of a superstar as what she is. Yeah, right. And what Thomas is. Yeah, they listen. And Dave is another one. I'm always telling him off. Like, he does get on my nerves sometimes, but he always does what I tell him to do. And this is why he's the champ.
Yeah.
This is why she's the champ. This is why Thomas Paul's going to there. Just listen. I'm not telling you something because it's going to benefit me. You know what I mean? If I'm telling you need to cut the weight or go down a little bit lower, if I'm telling you you need to work on your jiu-jitsu or work on your wrestling or do that, do it. Because I'm not telling you just to waste breath. I'm doing it because I care about you and I want you to succeed. And that's what's really important with my team. And hopefully everyone listens to this and comes running to me tomorrow and says, "What do I need to do?" But mostly,
Everyone watching, you know what you need to do.
know what you need to do. And if you don't know what you need to do, ask me, and we can talk about it. We can discuss it. And once you start telling me I'm going to do this, you're like, well, all right, we'll crack on then. Results speak for themselves. So, you know, knuckle down. Treat every day like you're a beginner.
Yeah.
Treat every day like you're a beginner, and you'll become a champion. That's as simple as it is. That's what I believe anyway. Every day, train with the best person in the room to the worst person. Help the worst person because he could become a valuable part of your camp. You know. So everyone's as good as everyone in the gym. I make everyone train with everyone. Thomas Paul was
Yeah.
sparring with beginner girls today, small tiny little girls, helping them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's going to the UFC and he's helping these young girls coming through, or helping these young guys coming through. It's just It's great to watch. Whereas you go in some gyms, and the pros won't even go near the beginners and stuff like that. And I think that's what sets us apart a little bit. Everyone
Yeah.
trains with everyone. Sorry, I'm banging
No,
on.
I love it. That's great advice. It's really great advice, and
It's just the way
I'm
sometimes I feel like when it comes to like the young fighters that you're only in this game for a short amount of time, and so if you got like a coach that you trust, or a coach that you think is going to get you to the level, then just listen, or even your teammates, speak to your teammates and stuff. You can sort of work together to make yourself a better fighter. We've got everything in our gym that you need. We have high level grapplers. We have very good, the best strikers in the country. The best striker in the country is in our gym. Jonathan Haggy is the best striker in the country. Who wants to argue with that? There's no,
nice quality.
he's amazing. So he's there, and he's in that gym every day. Thomas Paul's been working with him. David's working with him. Chloe's worked with him. It might, he won't even charge the fighters a lot of money, for a PT or something like that. So, just he'd probably even help them for free, because that's what we're like in the gym. So ask, you want.
He'll love you offering his services for free. We'll just
No,
clip this bit.
yeah, training all for free now. Yeah, no way, he'll kill. But I had Jonathan in my house the other day, so he's run out my hot water because I was helping him like cut
So he
weight.
owes you. I
So he
will
owes me.
say though, that's what's made me like a massive supporter of everyone at BKK. When I went down, all the guys that Corey McKenna, she had a broken hand or a bad hand when I first started training down there.
Yeah.
She was beating me up with one hand, and the lads down there, like, they all take their turn with the shit old bird that like is their rest round, but they never make you feel like you they don't want to do it, kind of thing.
Well,
And
which is a reason why I took the team to BKK,
that's another
because
team
I think
with that kind of vibe.
yeah, Jack Mason's just a great. Jack Mason literally paid for a hotel for us to come down.
He's a wonderful human
He's
being.
just a great guy. He's a great, and he also got Faraz Zahari to do a seminar at our gym. He is just a great guy, a great promoter, and an amazing coach, and just a pioneer of our sport. I think he's such a good fighter in his
Yeah,
day. Fought the who's who, in English.
everyone.
Oh, man, fought everyone. And we went to his gym, and he looked after us, and we had Arnold sparring with Thomas Paul, and David had rounds with Arnold Allen as well, and then it was just some great guys down there. Some of the coaches are just sexy Coles is cracks me up. Um, he's a good lad. It just all of them Muay Thai coach done loads of rounds with the guys. He didn't have to. He done like 3 rounds of pads with each of my guys, and just great. And there's a big shout out to Dan Castle as well, because he done the same for us as well. We went to his new gym, Intensity MMA in Wolverhampton. So if you're ever down there, check that gym out, because that's a really good gym, and he's going to have big things, and he's just a cool cat as well. Just looked after us and got good rounds in, and good rounds in the pub as well.
I love it though. I love to hear that, the MMA community. I think that sounds lame, but
Yeah,
helping each other, and helping each other get better, and then you'll be fighting each other again on the
yeah.
next show.
Well, that's
It's
it.
just
We went out of that. Now, one of my guys is fighting one of Dan's guys on his next show. So it's just business, It's just business. Nothing, we'll go out for a beer after,
yeah.
Win, lose or draw. It is what it is. But yeah, that's my big shout out to all the young fighters. Just even the ones that ain't at my gym, just listen to your coach, or listen to the guy that you're basically paying.
Yeah,
If he's a good coach, he's going to look after you that way, and he's going to tell you what you need if you want to go far in this sport.
I love it. I love it. That's a good advice to end on. I'm so glad we finally got to do this. I've wanted to do it for such a long time. We need to do a catch up one as well, like in a few months' time, and find out how everyone got on
Yeah,
and talk about that. And hopefully, I'll see you at some shows live to get interviews with your fighters and you after some big wins.
definitely, definitely. You should come down to our show.
I'd love to.
If you want to
So
come
what
down,
date's
you can
that one?
do interviews or something. If you want, you can
I'd
come in.
love to. Yeah.
You know, I'll get you down there if you want to come down. You free ticket, come down.
Oh,
You
100%.
can
Yeah,
come
I'd
down
love to
do
go.
your MMA live, and you know what I mean, and do your thing, and you know, and then we'll have a beer after.
I love that this always ends up in the pub. I'm definitely there.
Well,
Thank
I
you
do.
so much,
You know,
Steve. Oh, I'll be
I,
there with you, I promise. Yeah, that sounds good.
well, thank you very much, and I'm sorry to anyone that are bored senseless.
They could have tuned out if they wanted to. The numbers have gone up and up. So I think people have been loving it.
Oh, that's all right then. Thank God for that. My missus probably hasn't.
Yeah, she might have logged off a little while back.
Yeah, I think so. She's probably like, oh, he's banging on again. I'm going to make a cup of tea.
She might have heard it before.
Yeah, definitely. But shout out to listen to all my team, all my team. I'm not going to bang on everyone's names. All the guys that have got fights coming up. I love you very much. You all, you inspire me to come to the gym every day because you're all just absolute savages, and I love you lots. Yeah, let's move forward. Let's kick ass. We're ready to go.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see everyone. I'm looking forward to seeing them all back in there. It's going to be amazing. Keep doing what you're doing because I think it's brilliant. I love bumping into you lot at shows. It's just a wicked vibe and it's just what we need.
Well, that's what we need. Like I said, you know, you have to come down and get some rounds in one day.
Oh, I'd love to.
And I mean in the pub. No, I'm joking.
Both. I thought we always end up in the pub. Yeah.
It's always Chanel dragging us there. Trust me.
The pub rounds are the only one I'm good at. But
Yeah, that's it. I'm pretty good at that one. But
you take care, Steve. Take care of all the fighters, and I'll see you soon.
thank you very much. All love.
Thank you.
Bye bye.